That is the most important thing about route licensing. It usually helps people. I know, like you said, it is new in the Gambia, but it is not new in the other part of West Africa. I believe those who usually go to Guinea-Bissau and some part of Senegal and other countries, they are into this long ago. And for us to move as a country, the transport sector has to be regulated. And in regulating the transport sector, it doesn't mean we are witch hunting a particular group or witch hunting somebody else. We all want to live in a happy life. You leave your house, you go for work, you go smoothly and come back safe to your house. So this is why at the level of ministry, we have a committee that is working on this. And this committee comprises of several or different stakeholders. And Ministry of Transport, Works and Infrastructure is the one coordinating it, but together with Ministry of Interior, Gambia General Transport Union, we have the councils, that is the KMC, the BCC, and the Brikama Area Council as well, because they have a stake in public transport in general. And we have others, the Minister of Lands is also part of it. So the committee comprises of several stakeholders that are looking into this. So maybe we'll further explain it.
Yeah, so,
yes.
Mr. Cisse, Amar Cisse, President General Transport Union, you've heard what Mr. Kanye said. How does your people, the drivers, what do you think? Do they understand this? Has it been communicated to your people? If yes, what has been their reaction? Do they understand the concept of road licensing? Do you think it is good for your people?
Yeah, thank you, Omar. Once again, this road licensing or route permit is a very important subject as far as the union is concerned, because we are part of the international organizations. We see the countries are using this, the effectiveness and the to promote the free movement within the particular area. So in Gambia, especially the Greater Banjul area, you all agree with me, the transport is challenges as of now. So as a stakeholder, we are looking to see how to modernize or to regulate in transport sector. This is the key of it, because today we don't have transport regulation in place, but that is a process. But in this route licensing, the policy, I think the transport policy from 2018 to 2027 capture it. Now, for most important part, some people are not understand it because maybe their experience is not each other level. But people like us who have been driving for West African countries, many countries, I'm part of the West African, transport organization. This is not new thing to us. So what we are, telling people is just come to, we can call it traffic management. Mm-hmm. As a driver today, you can have all necessary documents, but you can apply anywhere. But most important part is within the Greater Banjul area, especially West Coast and Greater Banjul area, the passengers, the commuters, the Gambian people have been crying triple and double fare. Am I right? So during our last proposed strike, we demanded to the government to increase our transport fares to 30% increment. During discussion, according to the Motor Traffic Act on the Section 4, the government alone cannot increase the fare until all stakeholders be involved and make their input. When these stakeholders, the commuters are part of it. So during the discussion, we discuss and agree on certain price or certain percentage. But at the same time, the same consumers also complain the way the challenges they are facing. That is the triple or double fares. So we all sit at the bigger box as Gambia. This is beyond transport, it's beyond ministry, it's beyond consumer, it's Gambia now, because we are all commuters. So we look in this bigger box to see how to help Gambian people. So we agree with this. So I know many people understand it, but it's a trial in this moment, and secondly, it's a piloting system. We identify some place we want to start it there, so that we can learn from it. Any challenges, we can see how to rectify it. Any development, we can see how to develop and move forward. That's what's important part.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cisse. Coming back to Mr. Kanyi, let's look at now what are the criteria, because how are you going to ensure these drivers are issued these licenses? What are the criteria required, or does it simply means a driver walking into your office and you is there any fee attached to it? How do they go by getting these permits?
Oh, thank you very much. Before I indulge into that, the most important thing, that is the rationale behind introducing this particular initiative, is to stop the short tripling of vehicles, of passengers. Like you'll be in a particular garage, you'll board a vehicle and the vehicle will stop at perhaps Talinding, Latrikunda, that is short tripping of the routes. This will discourage that as well. And it also will discourage the charge of double fares. So many people will complain, double fares, you pay double fare. But maybe the pain of double fares might not be a bigger problem, but the difficulties that they encounter before you reach your house is another thing. And also on the side of the drivers, we embark on different site inspections where we will create a parking place for them. Instead of parking on the road, you can just stop at the side, on the side of the road and alight passengers, and then you start moving. So that was done, and we are working very hard with NRA to improve those stopping and picking points, because that also contributes a lot in traffic jams and whatever on the road. And also the other part of it is to generally regulate the transport sector in the country. Like Omar says, the transport sector has to be regulated so that different players can, play harmoniously in the field. The level field will be created for them, and there, like in our local language, no kana soso fa, soso kana nyo fa. No, they should not affect each other. So they can be in the field and play fairly. So this is why we come up with this route licensing initiative to introduce in the Gambia. And coming back to what you've asked,
the question,
that is criteria. There is not much criteria in this. You as a driver, perhaps you have all the choice by yourself, for you to choose whatever route you want to run. We are not choosing for anybody. We are not compelling or forcing anybody to register for a particular route. At your own free will, you will register for a particular route that you think you can run, you can operate without having any problem. You will register with us. And the registration will take in the form of, we'll be going to the garage, because for us to invite all the drivers in the Gambia in our office is going to be hectic. We'll be going to the various garages, various locations, to help them register. I think you have to bring your vehicle. We have to have your vehicle number plate. We have to have your sachet number. We have to have the details of the vehicle. That will be registered with us. So that when you are given a permit, you are given a permit to run, to operate from Brikama to Westfield, you will not be seen from Brikama to Turntable. And yesterday we had a program.
Somebody you will not be seen.
No.
Because you are registered for Brikama to Westfield.
Brikama, Westfield.
Therefore, you should not be seen plowing Brikama at Turntable Highway.
Turntable Highway.
Okay. Should you be seen?
Should you be seen? There are regulations. Like I said, we are working hard with the Ministry of Interior. They are the enforcement body. Their traffic, mobile traffic unit is the law enforcement body. That is traffic under the traffic laws. So if you are found wanting there, you will be charged. you will be charged with violating the rules. Because if you are registering, all these things has to be clear to you. That's why we are using the media as of now. We have been going to the drivers. We did site inspections to various garages in the Greater Banjul area. We went to Westfield, Serekunda Garage, Tontable, Brikama, Banjul. We went to do all those garages and have some discussions with them. And our plan, government's plan of introducing this. And we are introducing, we are not targeting a particular group. We are not saying drivers should not be, we are not cutting their income, their daily earnings. Like you can see this thing, it also helps a lot. Because if you take a trip here from Westfield to Brikama, I always give reference to that because I usually use that road. So the time you spend on the road, it's a lot of time. Perhaps most of the vehicle usually come through that way. But if we come up with this thing, vehicles will be spread randomly so that no one particular route might be blocked than the other one. So you will have all the time to go. And like Omar said something very important, this thing is coming with something that is for the drivers, that is their fares also has to be increased. Their fares is also going to be increased in order to harmonize what they used to have, and they should be having that one as well. So that's why we are introducing this thing. Perhaps it's to the good or betterment of the drivers. Perhaps they don't know, but we will make our level best to make sure that they are aware of this thing and they know the benefits that they are going to have.
Interesting, Mr.
Yes.
Kanye. It's a good initiative,
yes.
But let's look at the challenges.
Yes.
Enormous. There are
okay.
numerous challenges
Perhaps
attached
I know.
to this. Allow me.
Okay.
Let's say Westfield, Brikama, most of the passengers, or maybe perhaps let's assume most of the drivers. For example, if you have 100 vehicles or in the Gambia, or let's say Brikama Garage, 75 or 80 to 90 of those will want to register Westfield Brikama because maybe the fares is $20 or $18. Maybe what will happen to those going to Turntable and because the fares are different? Maybe most of the drivers will opt for will choose to be registered for Westfield Brikama instead of Westfield. What
I will tell you this: Westfield Brikama. Most of the drivers are now applying Westfield Turntable because it's to their own good. Most of the drivers, the distance is short, and there's no more much traffic blockage there. Most of them are registering there, and some of the drivers will just stop at Lameng because the routes are identified in such a way that you will have a particular route that you want to register, like. Banjul Westfield is a particular route, and the reference will be 101. That will be reference. Any vehicles flying from Banjul to any destination, one will be written on the vehicle, and the number. Banjul Westfield is 101. Banjul Chabokoto 102. Banjul Tipagaras 103. So it goes like that. So Banjul will be the reference point. Westfield Brikama will be 201. So 2 will be the reference number there. So any vehicle you see with 201, 202, 203, you know, is coming from Westfield to Brikama, Westfield to Tobakoto, Westfield to Lameng. We have identified a particular routes, a number of routes identified.
We are not signing Mr. Cisse, but yes. We'll come back to you, Mr. Cisse. Yes. But let's look at it. 01, 02, 03, you know, my uncle haven't gone to school, Mr. Kanye, and may not understand. Maybe seeing Banjul Westfield, Banjul Tabokoto, Banjul Tipagare, you know, Brikama Westfield, Brikama Lameng, label on those vehicles that are issued with those licenses, maybe will be easier for easy identification.
We have
than having those numbers. Maybe where would those numbers be put?
We have both. That is, we have on the side of the vehicle, those stickers, it's like stickers, bigger one than the lancing stickers. that is visible at a distance, you will see on the sides of the road. It is written on the sticker, Banjul, Westfield, and the reference number is also there. So both are also included there for them to understand. But I know with time people get used to this. People are using mobile, they have not gone to school, they can text, they can write. So with time, I know a bit of a challenge we will encounter at the start of the initiative, but with time people will adjust. They begin to enjoy. You take your trip from Westfield, you have Westfield to Brikama, and you are giving, instead of taking $8 from people up to Brikama, you are getting the whole of $20 or $18. Because like if somebody registered in Westfield, you are going to Brikama. If somebody is going to Lameng, he feels he can enter that vehicle. He is going to enter that vehicle and he is going to pay Brikama fares. Because Lameng, vehicles are allocated for Lameng. You better wait for vehicles that are going to Lameng, or else at your own free will, if you think you want to use that of Brikama, there's not like apprentice having that riot with passengers now. We want to avoid that.
This will bring me to the question.
Yes.
Most drivers will choose to register for short distances. For example, choosing Latrikunda Tabokoto.
Yeah,
but they can register just Latrikunda Tabokoto.
That is a different. That's a price.
They will get their $8.
That is a difference.
Very short distance.
But that is a difference.
And what will happen to the people of Brikama?
There is a big difference.
If most of the drivers choose to register for.
But what I mean is, there is a big difference. If you are going to Brikama, you can take Tabokoto. You can still take Tabokoto. You can still take Lameng. Like depending on the passenger's will to enter that vehicle, to pay and go. But there is a price, there is a fair difference between somebody going to Tabokoto and somebody going to Brikama. There is a difference in fares.
There is a difference between somebody going to Brikama and somebody going to Tabokoto. We go back to Mr. Sise. Mr. Sise, you've heard what Mr. Kanyi just said. Maybe your people are watching and they're like, they are up to something. They are about to butcher our trick.
No, for
you
me,
know, they are about to cut our way of earning our living.
I will give them assurance. I'm here for them.
Yes.
Representing them 100%. They are my boss. They appointed me. So I'm here to protect their welfares. So anything good for them, I'm here for that. So, you know, this route lancing, people think it's a big deal. For me, it's not a big deal. Drivers have been charging for triple or doubling fares due to some circumstance, like the nature of traffic, the fuel price, etc. That's why during discussion with the task force, we look at all this aspect. That's why we agree to increase the transport fare to a certain level. But at the same time, the commuters also need to have a free movement. So now, from Westfield to Tabokoto or Lameng. So if you combine, the same you have the same fare. But now, but law need to govern people. This is not just a hearsays. But that's why the government comes with some regulation, because nobody can get the guarantee this is going to happen. But that's why the law need to guide people. That's why the ministry comes the laws. But most important, does it mean they will start the rules and then the fare remain the same? During that fare also, we have agreement with the government. The agreement was signed. Any fuel to any certain percentage, the fare will be increased. So we cannot rely on our fare in fuel, because fuel is not controlled by the Gambia government. It's imported. So always, the international price will determine the price. The international market will determine the price. So that discussion, we take it into some percentage. If fuel reach up to that percentage, we will increase the fare. If we reduce up to that percentage, we reduce it. So at the end of the day, we have the playing ground. But most importantly, it's a route license or route permit. But if you register between Brikama and Westfield, for example, you have a mission, or you want to hire you to go to Costa Road, still you have an option. You go to garage management, they will give you a ticket to allow you to use that route. What we are avoiding, to stand and Brikama, calling Farato or Lameng or Tabokoto, you go to final destination, your final destination is Westfield, go to Westfield directly. Your final destination from Westfield to Costa Road, go to Costa Road. But you don't need to allow to see drivers are being called Latrikunda. If you reach Latrikunda, they will extend to Tabokoto after Tabokoto, they started. I think that is not, so that's why I said this thing is bigger than transport, is Gambia. But most important, you are going to Costa Road, but at the same time, you have a payer. End of the day, you can have your operation cost. You have something to earn so that because you are doing business. You know that it's a business. They are expecting profit. We don't that calculation. We are here for them. So I think this thing is a level playing ground. The passengers are going to increase what they have been paying before. If we are paying 10, you increase something. I cannot say the price now because I think everybody did it. But at the same time, this started route and taxi is not part of it. The yellow taxis, they are exempted. They are not part of it. It's vans, delegates, etc. And bus also, it's not the buses is not there. But this, mini buses, mini vans, delegates, but that's all. And most important, we want to regulate. End of the day, everybody enjoy.
We want to regulate.
And at the same time, it's piloting. It's not everywhere. We tax some routes like around 21 to 19 routes as a starting. So we're going to learn from it. We all know we're going to have challenges. But that challenge is a learning process. We see what is good for Gambia. We will go for it. I think that's most important.
Indeed, we see what is good for Gambia and we will go with that. Thank you very much, Mr. Omar Cisse, President, General Transport Union. Mbadingol membe jive kan sainteng albeit QTV le jive kam mu road safety program o nyinti men kanali from QTV and telang albadima Omar P Jallo tel be siringal ye jang anding naluntan kumal membe fejang wolle mu bekay kanyiti membota memu road safety officer ti Ministry of Transport Works and Infrastructure anding Omar Cisse memu president noti General Transport Union be men kacha kam bi wala miral kutole fintindi membe dending traffico ni be ngalong molka kole akol ben soto traffic to ba motol bukatano dol ko motol lesiata dol ko silole mam fanu bari fo mbesi hakilo di nyolan sa jibe mbe o kole akol bondino la nyame so misa bekay isa fo mbadi ngole melba jibe kan ni system kuto mune mati ay mune ay amu muneti ay mune min alba kala nyaadi le abe fo abe mol na fala do nyaw nyaade abe nying traffic kolea bondi la mol ka nyaadi le
barka baake law nyinin karola kumata baake to lam ko ten nata jang boda Minister of Transport Works and Infrastructure ga road safety talk show min soto jang komi na honorable ya fa nyami nan topiko nata jang mi ala kumata baake olon route land sensen olon ka pamito di drive la pour ay bori silo kan mi alon ko o silo yole landa pour anyanta borla minkan olon pamito di ninko pamito kayto le be safela di drive la ani moto fanam bala kayto be tarra moto bala min bayi tande la mol la ko moto nyimbita janne abita janale ani baaje la ko amanjade te drive fon nyinika wala apprenti nyinika e kata min tole so abe tarra moto balale ete fan ba ridla o e bajela ni ma fonko fana ni be lori modo bala mi yalon ko a 40 e sa fono ele ni moto kata min tole so moto nyi bida Westfield abita Brikama abita Banjul so be kumala bake so ngajele ko nyin trafiko nyin akumata bake pour ngajube ku ko saka mo jama ka kole aku soto je ni bita do ko la e be sayla e be murula sokon mo dol ka 1 hour 2 hours spend je jani futela do kutula o dum mambete an na banko fangto amambete an na economy la because ni ajube jani mo be futal do kula ka 2 hours lose le janabe futala je so wala yake na miral ke man sakundana ta jube ministry that is Ministry of Transport Works and Infrastructure and the Ministry of Interior and other stakeholders General Transport Union council fanam bije KMC BCC and other council bebo committee nyinkono Ministry of Lands fanam bijele so wol bebe committee nyinkono le pour nga si nga jube be transport system o nying ba improve la nyaadile mo be mo mol mil be ka kole ako soto je fo traffic o nying asisone ya mo be so wala yake bin nata jang ni regulation ol dol dada comme nga fa nyaming be motor register lale kabo destination like Westfield ibita Serekunda Westfield ibita Tabokoto so drive all found la ba jubela ite mari lafta borla daming e lafta borla Westfield la bang kata Brikama e lafta borla Westfield la bang kata Banjul e lafta borla Banjul direct Brikama la bang ite fana ba jubele e register je ani ni register ta wudla nyinto imanyan na kata ye bori o sila do ka miyalon ko e man register je o be kala luwalti ni mari yo ke doron amanta ye luwale sawn adum trafico la loi nyim banko kanjang polisol wala ka ko nyim bambande wala mobile traffic unit wala ka ko nyim bambande so no liye dulato yela moto bala yaji Banjul Westfield bari tebe bori kan Brikama ton table be kolya ko do man din so janni wo e mari janni be register la isa kesen ya jube ya korosi ko nyin silo wala jaretante nga register because register of han be nyami sante ni be register la e mantare fenjola masa kundala ba be ke kan be kaytol nyil be print la ela card mi mbadi le to la badi le fanan so fe mantare jola bar ni lafta change la routes e lafta la silo nyim falinna like a register Brikama kata Banjul sa e lafta register la Brikama tone table asa keno be demanding attach la wala pour nkana encourage baaxe mol biya register samaye on register malla fe ngoje wala na lafta minna driver besi hakilo sabatende hakilo tu ete yamira sila jumale yete febo e lafta ka boreje so we kumala baake so wala na bi ni topiko nata ka itandi molla nga sila jamal la identify si silo dol fonoje ase keno nga nyina dol la fana Brikama Westfield wobe silo kono mimbe tarani route permit nyin kono Brikama Banjul Brikama o fana betara jele Westfield Tabokoto Westfield Banjulindeng o fana Westfield Tipa Garage Westfield Costa Road so comme silo mi alon ko molka kolya ko soto je baake amanke silol beti sila dol bije perhaps mol buka kolya ko soto je baake ani motol man si aje ma fona baake traffic ko buka fonko baake so wala ke nga limit nyin silol la pour is a pilot program la faka introduce la nga jube ñaata demanding mba improve la côté ngata sila dol fanta ani motol mil ka bori bolon kono ma fona ani sandol to wol man tarje ha
baraka bake bekay kani abe kuma yala bake pour mol salon comme fo hapole bije bang fo comme mari ite mari ni comme ni mo men registrata Brikama Banjul ala on registrata je alafta registre la Brikama ton table abe o kusi fa keno la si nyaajel fo dan dulale be wala bang baawi ko albe jorinding ataj la je isaje mol karika ke wati bari fo dan dulale be wala bang
ha dan dula si tarno bar sainteng mang dan dula kala follow bari kawle ko like nyimba introduce kan sign but with time will improve on it ba try la nga improve bari mantari drive will encourage kam pour yoke fanan pour biye register samaye on register yala o mambeta so ni be register la e mari balon nako inyanta ka register jan asike no dole yala dole meta borla wasilo nyin so le a prefer pour yetuje kile e be borla wasilo nyin ani dole asike no dole mantare boro kan sila dola e lafta kata wasilo la so dependa ite mari le bulu ila lafta borla sila jumala
baraka bake Mr Kanye jërëjëf Omar Cissé mbokki olof yi tamit ñu ngi seetaan dina baax ñoom tam ñu xam lan lañ nekk di waxtaane tenkal mbokki olof yi tamit lu ñu jote waxtaan depuis programme bi commencé
jërëjëf Omar lu ñu doon waxtaan rek mooy des route lancine o route permit loo xamante ni bi mooy njëlbeen yoon Gambie ñu ngi ko bëgg a introduce jóge si fan nguur gi mooy ministre of transport and ministre of interior lu ko sabablu mooy soo ko fàttale ko ay weer yi gannaaw tuuti union bu ma jiite bëggoon naa def gerew mu def toogaay ñaxtu ñu bugg demande si nguur ji pour mu yokka suñ paas bi soo seetee si loi Gambia on the motor traffic act on the section 4 mu ne paas bi soo ko bëgg a yokki oo soo bëggee wàññi il faut nga tooga stakeholders ñëpp ku nekk jox si wargalam bi so during discussion waxtaan ak nguur ji bañ d'accord ñu d'accord dina yokk a paas bañ am na fa nga ko teg but the same time tamit client tamit dañ joytu bi ko jot am na si warga ñu ne dog paas yi bari na si dëkk bi so lu ñu mën a def tamit ñoo tax su yokkee suñ jëlee seen koppar bi yokk ko ñu ne war nañu mën a am da service bi so the time government because li policy mu si policy bi léegi driver dina register yow foo bëgg a daw soo driver yow su starté driver yow yaay choose foo bëgg a daw soo choosee between Brikama and Costa Route ministre de la register jola permit bi jola sticker bu identify ne moto bi fii lay daw soo moto boobu nag su taxee Brikama mënut a taxaw mu ne lii ndum laa yem benn dafay leen di final destination mooy moto bi xam nga today Gambia fii let's call it speed moto amul destination moto spécial gré ba amul destination fu nekk moto fa lay yem so loolu la bëgg a discourage that is not a good one because moto dafa war a am dëkkuwaay su jógee tamit dafa am fu mu war a dem soo jógee Westfield fa mooy sa dëkkuwaay Brikama Costa Route soo ko waxee some people lu ñu wax ne dëkk bi amul garage moo tax amul garage ba moto yu ngi daw am na fu ñoo taxaw ba lu mu bëgg a créer mooy moto dafa war a am dëkkuwaay am na dëkkuwaay mooy am destination fu muy dem su jógee fii la war a am su moto bi départ Brikama la mel ne am su passé la mel dina am Westfield or Serekunda or mu dem Banjul so yeah the passengers also because am na ko war a jógee Serekunda ñëw Brikama su jógee ba mu konte dem fooñi fekk amaana rek but léegi su mu daan di passengers boo bu nekk di am mooy dog passé dina wàññi ko dog passé driver you can mënu leen blame a lot because I'm part of them ñooñ la fi toogal the situation bi moo leen si dugal mooy ne trafic bi congestion na spare part de seer nañ gasoil yokku na but most importantly market moom you are not a trade duñ trade businessman market moom mënuñ ko wax ba gasoil moom moo tax ñu ñaxa government bi ba government d'accord ñaar stakeholder si ak passenger seen pour ñu yokk pass bi parce que su yokkee pass bi tamit driver tamit li nga doon soo ko sa calculé léegi li nga doon dajale soo ko boolee yëpp léegi soo leen Brikama loolu ngay am o soo leen Costa Route loolu ngay am kon wii yoogi di nga war a ngaa préfère pour dem Costa Route directly because soo ebee nit fale I don't know Westfield nga wàcce ko Tabakoto jël Tabakoto wàcce ko Costa Route léegi soo boolee yëpp loolu la bëgg a jox benn yoon kon yaakaar naa du jar pour nga wax ne ni Tabakoto la wala Latrikunda laa yem kon dañu nekk win-win situation yoo xam ne client yi am jaama driver am jaama ñu ñëpp client lañ so loolu la bëgg a introduce pour driver but at the same time your driver soo register between Costa Route ak Brikama foo mooy sa route foo mooy sa destination but somebody ask me this question mu ne léegi soo fekkee man dama register Banjul Brikama du man Brikama laa dëkk léegi su ma jógee Brikama est-ce que damay daw ba MT ba Banjul ñu leen doo loolu kay kenn nagul ko loolu nag xam nga luñ ñoo bañ nga taxaw Brikama ko ñu faral la yem aga faral nga drop ñoo jëlaat nga ne Busumbala la yem aga Busumbala wàcceelu nga ne loolu mooy wax bi.
waaye mun nga eb si yoon bi mun
nga eb ku bëgg a wàcce mu wàcc ba yow make sure yow destination mooy foofu nga yem si Omar Piwa Jallow bu dugg QTV mu ne la QCell laa bëgg da wàcce QCell loo Omar mu fay pass QCell keneen dugg ba driver moom du mën a taxaw ne mu ne ma fii laa yem moom il faut mu àggal destination loolu mooy ba nit ñi moom mën nañu wàcce seen because nit ñi subhanallah nit ñi demuñ benn place so most important lii mooy issue bi so loolu la bëgg a driver pour ñu understand ko mooy ne lu ñoo bëgg a indi and di seen time soo register Brikama Costa Route nga am event at Banjul you don't register at Banjul or ñu hire la or something else li ngay def it's very easy go to your garage dinañ am ticket bu ñu am dañoo bind ticket bi ñu ne bekkaay mi Brikama Westfield da ba am na soxla Banjul ñu yor ticket bi ba moto ba waxtu nga fay am ñu bind ko les fois que police la laaj nga wan ko you have that green light ko maybe loolu la it's just traffic management but most importantly driver ñu ngi ko understand but ñëpp xam na ne any development go with some challenges du neex ñëpp ba lu ñu ñor mooy lu gën Gambian si am na yaakaar ne kenn du wax ne du dox because man am naa si understanding am naa si experience lu dara dawal naa di above ECOWAS sub-region bi dëkk yu bëri gis naa ko fa bokk naa si ECOWAS organizations like transport so you have a lot of experience du what most important transport da nga ko bëgg a jëlee fu mu nekk nii lu ne waaye def loolu kana benn dëkk du dem man du ma gëm as a human being mooy dëkk dafay am loi mooy gofaan nit ñi lu ne waaye du am transport that is lacking kon if you are bring the regulation what most important nañ ta represent ñun nag loolu moo nañ gis ne client bi ko kii man client la soo fekkee man am naa moto today ba suma famille ma rek maa moto so all my family members are paying fares ñun ñëpp moo ñu dal kon nañ indi situation boo xam ne tomorrow mën nañoo jógee si place bi we go back to our family so let's bring something good for the whole Gambian people am naa yaakaar ne luñ commencé nii end of the day dinañ si bénéfice ku nekk ne lii su nga xam ne ñu teel ko def we have lot of experience about it nekkul ne dañ cuune rek jóg def I'm not story numbers. Since I can remember October, we are in this discussion. So we have many plans, but logis contebogus if commence bena.
am nañ konte boo gis rek am na commencé si benn am na solo lool Mr Bekay sam saying ning ngala mbadingol ya understand kacha be dendi munela saying be na men kelam be laynol opunna bawo melbe sirin kan yibe wol fana ya hako soto je ye la miro kafuje saje maybe te ko dol bi je ite me mirala bari do be sirin aba jibe kan res hakilo si ko doje asafo andu asembe nafa asi nyimfero fanan sone andi molbe so abe kuma yala woto wol fanan yela hako soto fo se kumandiro keno yela miro fo ni fenne suuteje me yalon at itol fe asike kole akoti ya fo mbe ngaji be nyofe mbe o ko control la nyami pour ka kol ni sonandi mol kam bari janni laynol be yella ngalon technicien ol ba kanne pour ka laynol yele mol ye saying
min kumara fana ñi garasol nga
okay mbatu nga fo badingol mel ba jibe ka pour que ay salon ibe nomba men commandira albe nomba sol men je kan al screen olto wala 5050505 5050505 ni men lafta dunna programme to ibe line le commandila pour e daye ka programme oto ko buga bokka ci programme rek mun nga call 5050505 5050505 pour bokka ci programme bi amna solo sa kañ
ku do fana bi je min kumata baake lafta ko fana yitande clientol la lafta queuing system la fana introduce la be bo seltal like bo batu dula be dada kanne ani ningi dada be naata la silul kan like Westfield ba soto la janning Westfield kata brikama ma
abaraka baake mi saka nga kola soto hello aha
assalamu alaikum
wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah
albe kayrato
kayrom
alain programme ko mayata baake
baraka baake
ade ndemo drive volete mufitale
aha
so but how to call it yaje de panan tamandintale ngamale fo serarion so alkani me introduce tenting hani masimal tenting jakarta albe ya luwa soto jele so abitamente tenting de contanta wala bake mabe dragol map ko la follow be kole ala de bara la bandula be
inshallah wala hamoti
inshallah rabbi alama alena be dima
amin ya allah
kila noro na barakor
amin ya allah
assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh
wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh
jadi molu bina always ngam ka fuka drive batandira le mo len den drive te wolat
afele drive wala fanga ko
lafta mo understand ko ndaba drive repesen ganja no muyente long drive la ko kilo yallo wala no I think ko mo drive la mantoro ni la toroti ndasi den ko kata so ngani na fal long ngala I think in the government level in the social level kata dulato beka yellow back muko torore fo so lafta kam we want to have traffic management ni wala ta rek drive ko bata mun take kunu abolal ku nyama ko nyimo starting net mu yangol mbak system na lam la system mo ko end of the day ina drive e ba dahalale tra police ma soka daha gambe di daha ni ngo soto rek e ba gonna boss our economy because today Gambia will lose millions of dollars in car transport. No, that's not good for us. I want to be because the people dimbatile. So la as was driver mam de ko. Ni akata ko basile yala nga mofo. We have been discussing this several occasions in our platforms. But let me tell you this. I'm here for them. Ila nyanto mo nyantodi, ila sulo mo njule kamu kumbo mbe yalo ne. No, always we are here to protect their welfare.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Omar Sise. We are here to protect the interests of the drivers. Mr. Bekay, habe kumaya la pour nza long for dung albe nyin driver albe Tesla le bam for testing tije binale drong atol bitale drong ale futa gara solto ale nyin kay la vehicles details sol al yewota al ye isulans.
No, new kay ni is different from vehicle testing or drivers testing. Ni mam futa o level to ni testing tije ndol ning safety garage wala be do ko kala because travel fanam be wala ko to so ni tara garage to safety garage no le be do ko travel na ngela moto identify nga sticker sol kabala al detail sol ngeta as a reference material for in case what nim feng do keta or anything happens we can easily identify that vehicle wala nambe sase number fangtala moto nyinto
kumare ni aje be nyini kala okay we nga command la soto line auto hello aha
hello
iwulara
albe kayrado
kerdo
ko tarande
tanate
yo mbe mbadi gondo na sise bunda gonyi
abe moyka
yo alla nyi programme nyi be korondo da nyi prole nde korondo da nyi ko do bakel yo nde be biri kamale bari mbe busu sirim busu mbale
okay
bari ngapata men soro traffic la kanola ala da male yalo
okay
because inka pasi fulale jo ka ninna ranga ji fara to gamodo do ta kana busu mbala si ngole ke si lolu so jin programme on te ko ndo da nyin ko do bandu ndam bande mo bele ko ndo en ko ala ma nyin kala podi mais ala si continue
amin ya allah amin abaraka bake mbadi misakanye ya moy do fanam fele do mu clientolti afela fanam bala bata da wosi kan ngalaw ñi banki adam mati demem be siri jante be nte ya mu faratolti ngalaw kak bata men taki ni mistan staff boso lan ka bata bakel ni jita jang boso fana yembula ni mam moto soto men ben sayndil aka koleya bakel
bare
ngalaw molbe korontori fo ñami molbe korontori pour kañi koje ay tama
min ko mata dron min ko mata fa kuma ni ko road users o mu passengers and drivers lati passengers vana e gujamale entel karam do dindingul bijeli musul bijeli ani kebal adum wol ka bata pake ite din temu funding kelti askeno tolle o bata be askeno wote mol torala bake wonya bare keba mi ala be silo kan pour ani mole ñoo saba moto la gele lota say mol be ñoo ñor la abe kole ala bul bake karam do dinde sometimes din tambete la silo kan jang Westfield 9 o'clock 10 o'clock e ka dindin karam do dindin je Westfield imam moto soto kata banjo so dindin fanal karam do dindin ni jita 1 o'clock ni tata Iceman e ka momi mbeta lori je asiata bari Iceman je fang mba plan kan ne ka fa bo selta soto je mi alan ko be bo selta dadala je min warta do mande siran be kala je mul mina be sila wala kan ye kiw ye line of form ye bula ñono ma comme nun banku dol ka ke ñami ni dara gana mul bu ñoo saba moto la ni dana re bula elo modo ko mo ni na moto ena elo mole dum no fata weta do ena lefta wo kiun system le start la driver wala lafta ni driver wala ñoo moy baké baaje driver te batala apprenti te batala modo te batala ite binala yelo doro mo le bula moto na fata ko eta ani lo your destination is either Lameng Brikama ite dal destination be tare le moto bala mota fule ko ibe dan na janne muna ibe da mota fule hante be nyim paso la jola hani ni bula ta moto le fa ala ko nyim paso mu nyinete ibo la jola ini moto ñoo sabala
ilaw Iceman
Iceman experience ni
ilaw Iceman kumo wayin hakkilo bulandi fenne la airport Johnson ali hakkiltu wo fananto be ali selta ke wo fananto fenteje yirite
ibaje hani
sama kono ndebe yamu ka wole fangola nga experience je sama e busa je nga mobile tijata ci ngalam kilima yo experience je barabe kuma yala pour won sifat so
it's part of plan
dena ba oki wala vitamine xam lan lañ wax ci jota wax ci sosé ci lu aju ci bo seltay ak luñ jota waxtaan yëpp ci sosé daal
jërëjëf Omar comme luñ do wax rek mooy mbir bi su commencé lan lañ ci bëgg a am mooy ne dañ bëgg a demaa ñoo mën a yomba mooy dañ bëgg a driver seen koom-koom mu yokk dañ bëgg a traffic management mu yomb dañ bëgg a client tamit ñu am moto fu ñu nekk dem kon dama ko waxee si olof mooy moto yi am destination but most important part lu béykat doo wax mooy ne ñun tamit client yi tamit il faut ñu ci suñu jikko ji nga ñu ne xaj su la yabee c'est sa kanam la ko gisee su moto bi àggee ñu commencé di ñiiroo oto yi kii jaar ci pratique il faut sàcc sax fa la ñu mën a jaar pour sàcc nit ñi so lu ñu bëgg a def mooy that boat shelters mooy diña ministre yi ñu ngi defar boot sa mooy mbaar bi mu ne ifin nawet mu nga faa dugal su tawee du la laal I think that's very important comme lu la daloon si Airport Johnson
ok téye ko foofu Tom am nañ ko la si line bi hello aha mbaar yi mbaar
ñin sama aka bakile
aha
katu ndele
Mariama Dramé tujereng
to fanan kanyum ko le hakole soto je ni nga moto yo kabo tipatara si moto kan dali ton table le nga moto ton table nga taji taji nga moto taji nga tatu ko le ta ko itol panan le o no sponsor ban to ka tora illahi
so wota ka munta fanan be korontore nyin ko e keno
hako alma ala ali jo mbedu ala ali alma ala ali jo
amin ya Allah amin
ay so si ma bani jati kelle ara
amin
ala baraka baki
anti Mariam nga balal ma Omar xam naa ne dina am solo mbokki pol yi tamit xam na lan nañ nekk di waxtaan ma junj si tuuti rek si gàttal rek ma gàttal ko musidɓe hettotoɓe laaroɓe QTV o waktu ɗo ko min musidɗo moon Omar P Diallo ɓe hannde artani on ɗo fiititi yewtugol ko fawti e sengo trafic o ɗum woni laabi ɗi jaa ngara o hoɓɓe ɓe kemmiɗo noon ko ɓen boni Bekay Kani mo ganduɗa noon ko kanko woni road safety officer gimmoɗo Ministry of Transport Works and Infrastructure Omar Cissé President General Transport Union joni noon ɗo wonɗo komin jewtanno ko ɗum woni miijo hesongo ɓe keeɓi ko fawti e sengo gonɗon miijo ɗum woni ɓe puntini miijo fi ngo ganduɗa ko ɗon ɓe mbawata joni okkirde pamijji ɗi ganduɗa si tawi ɓe bindi driver ko Westfield Birkama foti dog ko ngol ɗon tan o wawata dog o fotani yiyembo doga Birkama o abbo traffic light walla Birkama o abbo ɗum woni toon table ko gon miijo ko hoɗum yimɓeɓe poogue gon miijo yo hono ɗum webtiranta en uytinanta en caɗeje ɗe yimɓeɓe keɓata enen jiiya ɗum wattuji ɗum yimɓe ɗum ƴeppata yimɓe fi e immade Birkama Westfield walla Birkama Banjul walla Birkama toon table eɗen caɗeje ko ɗum ɗo ko feere no ɗum ɗon foof ustirte ko ɗum ɗon woni dalila oɗo ngoɗo miijo luñdese si waktu bariwut Omar Cissé suko defe ñu tagato lan nga buga i lafta kam ila kumala ba mo be kala muneti be mol yamar la munela
antela yamaro be kala minti be kumala baake pour driver anim passenger sol ye ñu moy silo ka because ni amo silo driver ni passenger sol la anu ni mimba introduce kanten abetiata driver la abetiata passenger la so be comme Omar ya fa nyami passenger sol wala clientol fana ye hakilo tu baake ñi ñu saba moto la ten lafta ko la bondi je driver be lole na lota ite al na moto nyimbala Banjul Westfield moto nyimbala e bula moto la eta anin abe kumala baake all the stakeholders mul be ñu ma koy je mo kanana ya ko ha ñinte wok la wala abe kala tenne no mbele ñantam bulola la ñokan nga ñu ma koy nga ñim banko doko ani any country iyaje ko ala transport sector mo
okay nga last call yes hello kola hello
assalamu alaykum
wa alaykum assalam wa rahmatullah
mayande
jàmm rek
naka
alhamdulillah
male nuyu ba sena ba manu denga
ñu la ziar bu baax
man la Ibrahima Lamine
Ibrahima na def
waaw ay ñu ñoo ko
masha Allah wa alhamdulillah
jërëjëf Ibrahima
ko sama boss la ñëw na suma office bi ma
okay am na solo
so wolem ko ñu be ñami nga try driver ning passenger sol all road users ya try e ñoo moy silo kam so no ñoo mo ñing keta obe kumala baake nin be ñumi introduce kan den abe mo bele ma ko la
abe mo bele ma ko la baraka baake Bekay Kani Omar Cissé ñu tagato waxtu bi fi la ñu jam fa
fu mu neexee fu la dogee yaa lu ndoo waa rek mooy mbir bi am na solo yéene buñ ci am rek mooy naka la ñoo promote transport sector ndax tey dafa doy waar trop réew mel ni Gambia since independent ba tey transport tollu fii loolu yaakaar naa dañ si war a liggéey bu bari so as a union ñu ngi waxtaan ak government ñu nag dañu improve demaa ñëw bi demaa ñëw transport mënut a dem sa passengers mooy clients yi lu may wax clients yi rek mooy su luy commencé nañu mel ni students yi gis nañ time school boss yi dañoo rang dugga si moto yi na mbay xëccoo suñu xëccoo rek dina may ay non suñu sanda Camara ak Touré dina si am bunta pour mën a xam nga sàcca doon kon di leen sanda di wax driver ne ku ci am lu la jaaxal our door is open nga ñëw si ministry o nga ñëw si ñun lu lañ si leeral ñu Israël la nañ si jàpp nañ defal loo xam ne ni tomorrow suñu doomee suñu seet yi dinañ si mën a am njëriñ.
Jërëjëf Omar Ceesay. Well, viewers, this is all time permit us for today. It was your road safety hour with me, Omar P. Jallow, and my guests were Omar Ceesay, President, General Transport Union, and Bekai Kanyi, Road Safety Officer, Ministry of Transport, Works and Infrastructure. Till we come your way next week or another time, it's a goodbye from me.